of YouTube. So it's probably going to be mostly patrons, because if you saw my ratio of subscribers to patrons, you'd be like, actually, it's probably higher than anybody, perhaps on all of YouTube. I mean, it's possible. It's going to be close. It's kind of absurd, actually. So although it's probably mostly patrons in here, it'd probably be 90%, but just a heads up, not everybody here will be patrons. So if you see questions that might be, you know, noobish, we need to be nice to people coming in, because my channel does exist for new people who don't know much about what they're doing, and perhaps people who are disheartened and seeing their money drop right now, even though you can be the best of traders, unless you're an in and out trader like a scalper, which there are huge advantages to being a scalper. If you're practiced, not for new people, but maybe besides scalpers, maybe options traders, maybe besides those two groups of people, everybody else is seeing their money go down. And since I pretty much swing and enter day trade without leverage during the bull run, because I make way more money doing that, because I can do so many long positions that I hold all year, and I literally 150x my money. It's honestly stupid not to do that. You make way more money during the bull run. But anyway, so this is, my channel's for new viewers, so just be nice to people. I'm trying to help people not get so wrecked. And if you're getting wrecked now, it's good to feel it. Just don't panic sale, and we'll get through this together. All right, so be nice to people, patrons who are coming in and aren't part of the community. Yeah, but Jason, thank you for asking. I think, Jason, I'm almost thinking you are our honorary like house member, essentially. I'm pretty sure you're the person that house has like stolen to their group, essentially. Sell some crypto contracts. I don't know what that means. What's going on with BPRO? Well, exactly what I warned you about. That could happen. I did say it was improbable, though. And it would be awesome if somebody could go back to the video where I said that. It was close to March 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. It's between the 15th and the 20th. After it clearly rebounded and broke down below the aggressive trend line that I had when it hit about 4.5 cents. My trend line was at 4.1 cents. It wicked above, obviously, and then I let everybody know, hey, it could literally go this low. Probably not going to happen, but that's all that's happening. It's going to its prior high. It's really not a big deal what it's doing. It's completely normal. Phantom honestly could end up doing the same, like a 70-something% dip. Dogecoin will probably do the same thing BPRO just did. It just got too hot too fast. So coins that get too hot too fast, they typically have a 70% correction. So something like Cero did the same. I think that's the one I'm thinking of. Like, look at this. So even though it did it much more quickly because its market cap was much smaller, it got too hot too fast. Like, it did this in like 5 days or 6 days or whatever. And then since then, when you get too hot too fast, look, it has gone down 68% on the dollar pairing versus BPRO. I think it's like 72%, pretty common. Yeah, I mean, even more. But I warned everybody it could hit this line because it was very possible. And I definitely said not probable because it was not probable. But I'll show you why. This is what's going on. Look. Watch. Watch. Not even from the bottom. From the breakout when it started going up. Watch. Freaking 6,300%. That's more than Phantom. It's more than Phantom in this time frame. Way more. Okay? So I'm measuring from the 5th of February. Let's go to Phantom. I'm pretty sure it's more. I actually am not for sure, but I'm pretty sure. So from the 5th of February... Well, that's not comparable. So let's just do it from when it broke out. About right there. $2,000. So that's like what? I don't know, 40%. So let's go from this, like from the bottom here. So something like this. So this U shape doesn't count because it literally lost like 6% of its value quickly. Like, look, so you can't count. So for example, Cardano and people incorrectly saying that ETH has outperformed Bitcoin. It has not. That is a factually incorrect statement because those people are counting worse performance afterward as better performance. You can't count that. You can't count it. You can't have it both ways. I'm sorry. It is only worse performance. Now that it's worse performance, you start from equal performance and then measure up. So Cardano's weakness of 99% losing a value, you have to count from the 83% drop. Or another litmus would be to count how much it's past its all-time high, which it hasn't. So it's clearly weaker. Same with Ethereum. So in no logical measure has Ethereum outperformed Bitcoin. But by the end of the year, it will by a mile, but it has not yet, but it will. But anyway, so Phantom from here, let's compare it to BPRO. So this doesn't count. Let's count it from there. 9,000%. But how long ago was that? That was July, almost a year ago. So BPRO simply got way too hot, way too fast. And partly, I mean, it just got too hot too fast. That's it. That's all that happened. It's very common. And usually when that happens, you can regress back to your previous little high. And the chance that Phantom actually comes down to 18 cents, it's like, that's why I had this line here. I warned people who were in Phantom back when it was up here. This could hit 18 cents. No one believed me. Hell, no one believed me that I said it'll minimum. Like, it has a chance to not go below 30. And everybody said it won't go to 30. I said, no. Not only will it go to 30, it's a small chance that will stop there, right? And then I said, well, and then I made this line later, like, yeah, it kind of looks like it wants to stop here, but it obviously didn't. So in those videos, I knew it would go below this because I've been through this before. It got too hot too fast, period. It's what it'll do. There are no exceptions. There literally is no exception, ever. And if you can just look at it like, here, watch this. Let me show it to you another way. Oh, it's not doing it. Dang it. Let's see here. 12 hour? Come on, help me. Yeah, okay, 12 hour will do it. Watch. Okay, look at the volume profile here. Wherever you see it get low, that means there's no trading volume. And typically, coins don't like to keep screaming with too many holes, right? So they typically have to fill out the low parts before it can go up, because it's kind of like, imagine a flagpole, and instead of a flag, floating, you like have a concrete block in the shape of a flag, right? So if a nice steel pole, even if it's hollow, it can hold like a 500-pound slab, but only if it's not too tall, right? So the heavier this crap gets, and mixed with the longer this gets, it will fall. So that's what this volume profile is. So even though I did not use the volume profile, I could simply just tell from where the weekly support was. I already knew it had to do it. It's not possible, really, that it doesn't. Like across any asset, it will. Yeah, once you start printing bearish divergence, it will happen. I don't know if there are any exceptions ever. Maybe besides tulips in 1630s or something like that. That might be one of the only exceptions, but there was no form of communication where people could see the price, stuff like that. So that's kind of why that mania, and honestly, that bubble was not as impressive as what Bitcoin's done in 11 years. But yeah, so you can kind of see it a little more clearly when you put on this volume profile like this. And so you can see here, it's kind of like there's a hole there. It gets really light. And this horizontal matches almost perfectly with that hole for a reason. Because the weekly, actually this wick, it should align with this wick. So yeah, it goes right through it. See, that wick goes directly through that hole. See that? Look, watch, let me make it bigger. I had this right at the wick for a reason. See that? I had the line right around the wick and aligning with that wick, and it goes right through the hole. So typically when you make horizontals correctly and then you pull up the volume profile, really the only reason I pull up the volume profile is to make sure I did not miss a horizontal. So I don't need the volume profile ever. I already naturally just know from my other stuff like I can feel it in other ways, right? So similar to how all I need in my trading, really, unless we're pulling out of a bear market and I'm trying to figure that out, I do need other indicators. But in a bull market, I need very, very few indicators. I need price itself, moving averages, RSI, Stokes, and candles. I need nothing else. And with those, as you can all tell, I can see things before anybody else can. Because not only do I keep it simple, but it becomes extremely complex when you look at the unison of all the time frames. So even though that's, you know, that's five, it's only 5 indicators, and other traders out there are using 1 million. No, it's not. It's 5 times 1 times 2 times 3 times 4. So it's 20 indicators. I'm actually using 20 indicators. And the people who are using like 10 indicators or 20 or whatever, how ridiculous they might get, they're only looking at 1 or 2 time frames, and that's their weakness. All right. And so that's how I could tell, you know, things like Phantom would come down to a level when no one believed me. I said BPRO could come down to this level. I mean, hell, when I said it'll probably hit 2 cents or 1.7 cents, still no one believed me, but it obviously passed that. So if you've been through this and you can finally break the idea that shit, things can really go a lot lower than what I'm thinking, once you get that initial shock, like right now, then you'll be able to understand, okay, these horizontals work because of this, and you'll start believing it because you've been shocked before. So I remember the feeling, you know, of that first time I said to myself, holy shit, this is all, like, everything's dropping 40%. My account went down 40% in a day. Because remember, like I've been saying, the corrections in 2017 were way faster, right? So because they were faster, altcoins literally lost 40% of their value in a day. And this time it's been moving sideways a lot more, so it's not been as severe as quickly. In the end, it will be just as severe. But hopefully, if you've seen me, had a heads up and had a hell of a little tether. Yeah, I like Chevelle. I actually helped their band set up their stage when they played at Wabash College, where I went to college. And no, I did it the year before I entered college. That was 2007. Yeah, I like Chevelle. Yeah, I'm just letting it play whatever it's suggesting. I just listened to a female country song, even though, like, that's not what I chose, but whatever. I'm just kind of listening to music as I go here. Freestyle? I don't rap, man. If I practice, I bet I could. Like anything I try to do, I typically do pretty well, besides hula hoop, sprinting, and high jumping. It's about the only 3 things I've never been, like, okay at. Safe Moon. When Lambo, maybe mid-June, early June. Masochist, yeah. Masochist is a good way to do it. So CoinTrader Pro. I've never used this before. But it works just like everything else. That's pretty nice. Hold on, let me fix the view because I freaking can't stand the white background. All right. Damn, that's exactly like this. Is nice. Thank you. I did not know you could ever see a graph of deep onion. I didn't know you could do it. Now you can see me set up my chart in real time. This one works kind of like KuCoins does. Where I had to press EMA like 5 different times because I didn't have like one set of 5. All right, I'm on the monthly. It looks like it has a rounded bottom. I think it's getting ready to fly. Let's try one more indicator. Gosh, what is it called? Yeah, so this, when things are pulling out of the bear market, this is what I use specifically. It's not the right one. Dang it. Hopefully it has the type I... All right, we'll have to work with this. Still has a negative slope. What is it on the weekly? I assume it's a positive slope. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Okay, so from a monthly, so you really got to zoom out since this started right at the end of the bull run. So the cool thing about this, the founders of this coin, so there are pros and cons to this. The founders of this coin did not enrich themselves like companies do, like on the stock exchange, where they start off with most of the money, right? So they're there to make money. They're a profitable business. They're there for profit. Most companies now do that. In 2016 and before, almost no one did that. And so they started doing it just like a normal business, which when I was in the I realized, wait, the crypto market one day is literally going to be like, it will be the new NASDAQ. Like it literally will. And it might happen by next bull run. But anyway, but it's probably going to be in 2 bull runs because governments won't like it for a while. But once they realize they can't stop it, then it'll probably be there. But anyway, so this had no pre-mine. The founders, I think they specifically only mined the first block to make sure it worked, and then they released it to everybody. I don't think even Monero can say that. Although I think they try to say it, but I think I think that's been proven wrong. But Monero's a great project. Anyway, so the con to that though, is that they don't have the money to pay off exchanges like Binance to put them on it. They don't have the money for marketing. They don't have the money to pay YouTubers like VChain does and Cardano obviously does. And really, you don't have to pay a lot of YouTubers. You just pay one, a big one, and then it starts trending. And what do YouTubers who need clicks because they're not providing real value, what do? They look at what's trending and they try to catch the trend before everybody does. So it looks like there was a trader out there who literally plagiarized almost every single element of my video. The portion of the video that had the 21 EMA with the 20 EMA, I'm not going to name names, but a lot of you, I did on Patreon, but live on YouTube, I'm not going to say any names. When I say traders' names, I will only do that in a closed community. But anyway, and please don't mention it in here, people, okay? Because I don't know how many just people around the world who aren't in Patreon. I don't want to diss anybody. But anyway, so I can't even remember where the hell I was going with that. But oh yeah, they pay YouTubers. Okay. And so it only takes one YouTuber or 2 to be paid off so that others try to catch that idea and roll with it, similar to how so not all my ideas that I've said before everybody have been taken. It's just once they could see it, that's what they're going to talk about naturally, like anybody would. So my having said it 3 weeks before everybody doesn't mean they're looking at my channel or copying me. It's just that's what's now obvious to them. But I was obviously seeing it a lot earlier than anybody. So not everything's like that I've said. It's just about half of it, or slightly more than half actually, especially levels 42, 47, 39. Those levels are just the clear levels now that they realize it's going to go down like way too late. And I think and Deep Onion didn't do that. Okay, so back to Deep Onion chart. Yeah, once it can close a month, so really what you need to look at is the monthly chart. Once it can close a month above this, it's game on. Why am I not making, okay, this one right here. So the first month, gee whiz, bro. So here's what you look for. You don't need to look at any other chart. I mean, any other time frame. This is it right here. Once Deep Onion closes 1 month above $2 or at $2, it's going to fly. It almost wicked up to there. I can't believe it wicked up that high. So yeah, that's it. And it's the same thing with Bitcoin. Actually, I'll just show you. So I knew that Bitcoin had officially entered the bull market. I mean, I wasn't a YouTuber then, but I even posted on my Facebook, Bitcoin closed here. It will reach 24,000 or higher before January 1st. Ended up reaching quite a bit higher, 32. But so what I'm doing right here is telling you is this is how I know this. I know this will be true from a technical basis, and I will show you in retrospect how I knew this with Bitcoin. The same exact thing I'm saying here, I'll show it to you on Bitcoin. Watch. Watch. I need to pull up another Bitcoin chart that doesn't have all these lines, but let me actually do that. So what am I using now? Bitfinex? Yeah, I'm using Bitfinex now. I want to use Bitstamp. Okay. Oh, damn, I have even worse lines on that. God darn it. There we go. And start. Okay, good. All right, so here is how I knew it was going to race. So this right here, so this is January. So just for reference, that's January 2020. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. When Bitcoin, I actually do need EMAs on here. Okay, so when Bitcoin, all right, so just like the weekly 10 is by far the most EMA, it's the most EMA. It's by far the most important moving average or EMA of anything. Like literally, it is. And I think I said in one of my videos for YouTube, if I could only use one single thing outside of candles, because obviously you can use candles if you want, I would use the weekly 10 EMA during a bull market specifically. But anyway, when things are pulling out of a bear market and you're trying to determine, are you entering the bull market, the monthly 10 is the way to go. And when it finally went down below, so look, so it was toying with it, right? Toying, closed above. And then I saw this close totally above, but specifically, if you zoom in, it had a good reaction. So remember, the candles tell a lot of the story, right? That story says, hey, that's a good amount of buy pressure. Now, it also had an equal amount of sell pressure. So this was an interesting time in Bitcoin, similar to what I've been saying recently, that there is an awesome amount of pressure up and pressure down, and it's equal. And whichever way it busts, it will freaking fly. So I knew this from this candle alone, right? Like, it's just like, you know, I should actually make a big candle. Like, they were huge. Like, I mean, it's a bunch of pressure on both sides. And this candle is what told me that. And however, it definitely closed above the 10. And I said, it looks like it won't ever go back below it, you know, until the next bear market. I think this was it, because all you needed was the second drop. You typically need to retest your bottom, and then you're done. And I said, okay, this is looking good. And when this one closed, even though it's red, I didn't care the color. I just saw it didn't even touch it. I was like, uh-oh, the bulls are now in control. And then in this month, so this was, nope, I said it here. Okay. Anyway, I was watching it the whole time. And I thought here that, yeah, it's probably the bull market. I want to see a retracement. I got my retracement. It tested the 10. And I saw it close here. A very good reaction. Once I saw this next reaction, I said to myself, now that it is closed this far away, the bull market has officially begun. And I said specifically on my Facebook post, the next 4 months will all be green candles, taking Bitcoin to 24,000 or above. I said it right then. And it's still on my Facebook. And I think I made it public. So if y'all find me on there, you can literally go back to that and see that. So the next 4, like it was more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it ended up being 6 months. Longer than I anticipated, but I just knew. I knew it. So, and I knew this because of the 10 EMA, the story off. So the 10 EMA of the monthly, how it was reacting and closing above. So closing above it, how it was reacting on it, and the story it was telling. And then I saw the mass amount of pressure on this candle. I knew it was going to blow. It gained the confidence. It retraced. And then it closed way above, and I said, that's it. It's taken off. And that is when I took out of my 401k at 5,000. But I fished up more money, which I should not have put in crypto, technically, right then in there. And I just bought Bitcoin with it, because I know the rule is that Bitcoin's the first mover. So I held it in Bitcoin until it was approaching 20K. And then I put it in Tether and plan to strike alts that would potentially move second. I was planning on buying Litecoin. I'm glad I didn't. Litecoin has underperformed so far, but I honestly didn't end up picking the correct coins. I put more into tone, but I should have known such small coins would not have moved quickly. But anyway, I did a great job here. So that is that is connecting in retrospect what I just said about Deep Onion and how I'm so confident saying with this line. You can barely see that freaking line. There we go. Yeah, once it closes at or above $2, it will go flying. And honestly, if a month actually does close here like this, what the hell, man? Once a month does close at it, what will probably happen is the first 5 or 10 days of the month will go down, and then it's going to fly. So you'll end up having a wick like that, because the sell pressure will still be there. Like, ooh, it hit this line, it's going to, go down, and people will test it, but that sell pressure will be pretty small. And then once the people selling realize, wait, it's not really going down. Not only that, but the sideliners watching it, even though they're probably not that many, but relative to this coin, plus those sellers themselves, both people in these groups will probably convert themselves into buyers, and that's why that will happen. So that's the market psychology behind why that happens. So you really only need the monthly chart. That's it. And the reason why I went so in depth in this is because for coins like that have been around since 2018 or before, you can do the same thing. It's the same thing. Once you see a huge resistance and a candle closes at it, it's game over. All right. So wicks really on bigger time frames, they tell a story. But if it wicks above something and closes way below it, that means the next, like, whatever candle you're looking at will probably be down, and then it'll give it another try. So candles are really important. I haven't done many videos on candles because, to be frank with you, I don't know the names of them, and I don't want to look ignorant to other traders who know all the names. However, I'm pretty sure I know how to use them better than them because of the way I've taught myself how to use them. I haven't been looking at your questions. So let me go on one more thing here real quick. This is why. Watch, this is how I do it. I like the 2-day, and I've done this on one of the videos. Like, if you want to train yourself to use candles without like looking at textbooks, it's really easy. Watch. Damn it. If I could stop being retarded with, watch, just literally, just go like this. Close your eyes and drag your chart and stop. Okay, just freaking stop. And then take off. There we go. Take off everything. So all you want is price. So this is the 2-day. Stretch it out and don't peak. And say to yourself, if I'm starting with 0 Bitcoin and, you know, $1,000, what would I do? Right? And honestly, this could be, if you actually practice this over and over on the 2-day chart with an asset that has been around for a year or longer, you'll probably make 3 times more money in this bull run, even without using any indicators at all, than if you hadn't done this. Like, just try it like once a day, 5 minutes a day until December. Like, you'll literally make 3 times more money. And if you mix that with EMAs and stuff, you'll make even more than that. Like this is insane. So this is more valuable than knowing the names of them. And you just do it over and over and over. And after time, you'll realize the stories that the candles tell. But actually, you have to mix it with horizontals. They mix with horizontals. But when you do this, you just kind of have to eyeball horizontals. You don't want to you don't want to actually draw them in. You just want to eyeball, kind of move your cursor. So you see how it actually has a line that goes across. So you just kind of move your cursor, go like that. So since I can see that there's a bunch of action here at this horizontal and it just fell below, if I had only Tether, 1,000 Tether, 0 Bitcoin, I would not buy it yet. There's a horizontal here. It hasn't quite hit it. The next horizontal's there. I think it's going to go lower at some point. It might retrace up, then come back down, but it's probably going to hit this level. I'm still not buying. Whoa, holy shit. That's a big candle. I would probably buy that. All right, I'm buying. Damn, that was a big candle. All right. I'm holding. I'm holding. I'm holding. So when I'm going to add more Tether, let's say I bought $1,000 of it at that point. I now used it all, right? So I can only buy more Bitcoin. So this is how you do it in your mind. I can only buy more Bitcoin if I sell high and then buy back lower, and that's really the only way you should do it. You want to only in your mind be able to sell more buy more Bitcoin if you've sold it higher, right? So so let's keep it like that. Actually, you don't have any more money, right? Okay, so I'm holding. It wicked up to here. That's a deep. Shit. I would sell. Fuck. I would sell half. I would hold that half and not buy any more with my other half. I would sell the second half right there. Hold my Tether. Hold my Tether. My breakout. So I'm really eyeing on this horizontal. It's testing it, but I still think that's a failed retracement. I bet it's going to go down. So I'm holding all my Tether. So now I have a lot more Tether, right? Like, how much more Tether do I have? I bought it at that candle, and I sold it half right there at that close. So up 30%, and I sold the other there. All right, so I don't know. What do I have, like $1,300 roughly? Okay, so I'm holding 1,300 Tether. I think it's going to go down, but it might not. We'll see. Still indecisive. I'm not buying. I'm not buying. Still not buying. So now if I'm wrong, I just wait for it to... So if it screams up here, I will just wait for it to retrace down to here because it will, like it always does. So I'm still holding my Tether. Good. It looks like it's getting rejected from this horizontal. I'm still holding my Tether. Still holding my tether. So now I'm thinking, okay, it's coming back down. If it retraces not quite as low as this, where will it go? I would assume maybe at this wick and that candle body. So it's almost there. I might buy it back at 6,400. Probably another failed retracement, but maybe it's not. We'll see. I'm still holding. I want to buy it back around 6,400. So, ooh, it looks like it's going to break up. I'm still holding. I'm still holding. I'm still holding. Yep, so I lost a lot of opportunity there, right? But it doesn't matter. I have to wait until high or low now. That's my only option. I'm not chasing green candles. That's the worst thing you can do. So I just lost out. And I'm not using any indicators, right? So what I should have done in retrospect, I should have said, if it breaks this, if it breaks 7,200, actually on these candles, I should have said, I will only buy if it starts taking off above that. So I made a mistake there, but you know, that's the way it is. So I have to wait until it retraces. So that's a doji. It looks like it's ready to retrace. Another doji ready to retrace. It's probably going to start coming down, but it might not. Man, I really got to wait a long time. So now I'm waiting. It's a waiting game. Yeah, so I'm waiting days and days and days. So sometimes trading can be boring. I'm still not buying. I'm still not going to do it. Now, if it does break above this, I might buy the breakout of that, but I really don't think that's going to happen. We'll see, though. It looks like it wants to. It's a lot of sell pressure down. So I've literally had no trade this whole time. Gosh, it looks like it wants to do it, doesn't it? I bet it still goes down, though. It's so, right now you have to say to yourself, shit. Sometimes when you think something's going to retrace, it does not have to correct by going down. You can correct by going sideways for a long time. So now I got to be realistic with myself. It might be correcting, and that it might not go back below this. So I think that I will purchase it if it closes a candle above 10,000. Or wait for a drop. And then I'm almost done. Let's just see how this one rolls out, and then I'll answer your questions. So it just broke, it closed the candle. I'm buying. Yep, see how? So I should have done that back here. So I missed that call back there. I didn't mess up a second time. So I bought that, and I'm holding. See that? That is kind of an indecisive candle. So let me go back to see if there's horizontal at 12,000. There is. I still will hold, though. I want to see what the next candle brings, so I'm right there. I will hold. Ooh, that's looking pretty. I'll sell half. I don't know yet. Ooh, I still don't know yet. I don't know yet. I'm still holding half of it. Okay, good thing I held half. Ooh. Ooh, I'm selling the second half now. And maybe it'll go back up, but I don't think it will. I think it wants to come down now. And so that's the gamey play, right? So you see that I missed one really good, easy trade. Like, I mean, I should have seen it break above this horizontal. And sometimes, you know, you buy breakouts, right? So crypto crackheads, you buy breakouts. That's what I'm talking about. And so all you really need in trading is horizontals and candles. You could easily trade off that. And does it get boring sometimes? Absolutely, especially if you miss something like that. Now you have to wait. If you miss a horizontal breakout, you got to wait. So that's how I do that. Anyway, so I don't know if you enjoyed watching me do that, but you know, sometimes I don't care. I just give you what you need, not what you want. So no, sell B-Pro. Why would you sell at the bottom? No, this is when you need to be buying it. Actually, I said you need to be nice to people who aren't within the community. Okay, hell no. So I assume that you are not in the Patreon. No way. So who asked that question? That is a good question. And if it's not sarcastic, then who the hell asked this? Sell B-Pro. So Zane. No way. So if you are not prepared to buy B-Pro at this point, selling would probably be among the worst decisions possible. The best decision possible, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes only, is that you need to feel the pain and make sure you do not find yourself in the situation again. You need to utilize this as a learning moment, not in terms of like actual school learning and charts learning, but emotional learning. You need to feel this. You need to feel how painful this is to not be prepared for a dip, to not have been selling at certain points and holding tether when there's bearish divergence in Bitcoin on the weekly RSI. First off, whenever you see that, you need to start keeping some of the 20 bags you sell, which if you don't know what that means our strategy, it's in my YouTube videos in the description section. I do a whole video on it, but so you might want to look at that. But when you see signs of bearish divergence in either Ethereum or Bitcoin, probably Bitcoin, on the weekly specifically, and you see it go down below its RSI EMA and touch it and then tick low, then you probably want to hold everything that sells. You might not want to sell everything, that's not what I'm saying, but the things that you have set to sell at certain points, you probably want to hold it in tether, especially if there's RSI divergence, bearish divergence also on the daily, which Bitcoin had the worst bearish divergence in its history of existence, which is partly why I was able to call this before any other person, like at least who speaks English. Now, there might have been Japanese people who were saying this, but we just don't see them, right? But in the Western Hemisphere, English-speaking part of the world. And I don't know why so many people miss that, but you need to look out for divergences. And when that happens on the weekly and multiple strikes, like 3 whole strikes on the daily on Bitcoin, when you're selling stuff, you probably want to hold mostly tether and just keep it in tether and wait. And then, so Zane, one more thing on this, and for everybody, this is a very important lesson. It's not stopping there. So not only do you need to feel this pain right now, but you need to specifically remember it for this reason. When you are holding that tether, it's going to also be painful to see shit skyrocketing. You see what I'm saying? I did not buy Viacoin when it was like going up. It was painful. But because I knew it's way more painful not to be prepared to buy it at very obvious levels lower, I chose not to chase green candles. So that's why it's so important to emotionally educate yourself, right? Or to, I don't know, I mean, I guess it is education, but most people would say something like, God, what's the word? To desensitize yourself. You need to become desensitized, but in the way it makes sense to me is you need to emotionally educate yourself, and specifically comparing those two feelings. And the next time this happens, understand that the feeling you will get when you start holding tether is shit. Yeah, that's what bearish divergence is. It goes up a little bit more before it goes down. That's what it means, right? That's what it means. But you don't know if it'll actually do it one more time or 2 more times. It doesn't matter. It's going to happen. So you hold tether and you foresee that pain, knowing that shit, it was painful last time, I wasn't prepared. And that is the learning experience that you should be getting out of what's happening now, if this is like your first round. So that is to be very specific. All right, everybody's talking about Pirate Coin. Okay. All right, let's do it. Pirate Chain or whatever. Ooh, it trades versus Bitcoin Cash. That's cool. This is not good. I don't like this. What is this? Is this the same chart? That looks better. Okay. Yeah, what do you want to know about it? Like, don't buy it. This is when you should be selling it. So this is among the worst times to be buying something. Doesn't matter if it goes higher. It's the same thing I just said. Hell no. Now, does this look really strong compared to what is happening in the market? Hell yeah. I'm actually kind of impressed right now. Fucking A, what the hell? No. You should be a millionaire. That is freaking insane. Yeah, you definitely don't want to. This is going to correct like 80%. This is stupid. Damn, why did I not know about this? I would have millions of dollars if I had bought this. This might be the biggest run in all of crypto. Dang. Yeah, you only need to be selling. If you buy this crap right now, you're an idiot. So that's my analysis. You literally would be, you'd be an idiot for doing it. Yeah, I need to put, yes, I'm still watching. Okay, I think I do need to listen to some 𝐭𝐫𝐤. I don't know. It just came up with Disturb the Sound of Silence. That cover is badass. I'm going to listen to this first. There have been a couple moments in my life where I actually put this on like one of those videos that plays it for a full hour. It's probably the second best cover I've ever heard, besides Blinded by the Light by Man for Man. I think that's the best cover ever. And I don't think it can be topped. I don't think it's possible. This is the second best cover I've ever heard. Brought to you by KuCoin. Yeah, sort of. That sign selections. That's a fair point. Yeah. So Raja Via. Yeah. So I bet there's only a 10% chance that Viacoin gets to 75%, 75 cents. But yeah, I would try to target somewhere between 82 and 92 cents, something like that. 80 and 90. Put buy orders between there, and the likelihood of some, if not all of them, being filled is very high, in my opinion. Hunker down, yeah, or double down. Sell other stuff to buy more BPRO, honestly. It's one of the deeper dips, so it will react pretty strongly. Wait, what is, I don't know what, did somebody just, am I missing super chats? Oh shit, okay, it just happened. Do you believe bots on KuCoin manipulate the, I didn't even know I had super chats, shit. I only knew to look at that because I watch Crown shows. Interesting. Okay. I know they do. So, Crypto Rodeo, how you doing? Let me actually make sure I understand the question. So, manipulate the small cap coins. I need to take off my headphones to think about that. Small cap coins. No, I don't think they're manipulating the price of the coin as an intent. I think their intent as an effect slightly manipulates the price of small caps, but that's not what they're trying to do. They are trying to manipulate buying decisions to be slightly more favorable for them and less favorable for the person who's getting ready to buy more of something. But all they're doing is they're tweaking the house odds a tiny bit in their favor by slightly manipulating what is just barely happening right there on that candle or whatever. So it's slightly less favorable for the person who is getting ready to buy another $100 worth, something to that effect. And the reason why I gave up on bots of my own that I think were very well programmed is I think KuCoin bots, number one, and this is something I discovered. I did not know this before until I programmed my own bot on, like, I was staying up all night. I was literally sleeping 3 hours a night trying to do this shit. The bots on KuCoin or any website, any exchange, that's not their main moneymaker, though. The main way they make money is based off the fact that more than half of trading volume is by bots, even on small caps. More than half. And do I know that for a fact? I only know that from other reliable resources who've said that. I could not pull up a source that proves that to me. So take that with a grain of salt. I do not know that for a fact. But multiple reliable sources in the trading sphere of crypto have said that. So That's my source. Source is other sources. But anyway, based off that fact, what KuCoin bots or any exchange bots are doing is they are tricking your bots. So specifically what they're doing, God, what are some assets I was really, what was it? And honestly, I think we're going to be able to see it better on this chart because this zooms in more than TradingView. I guess I could just pick one. Okay. All right, watch. So what is a popular cross? Hold on. So what they'll do is this right here. This is a good example. All right. A lot of people program their bots on EMAs, and let's just remove. I guess I'll keep all these on there. Let me make them thicker so you can see them better. This is how they make most of their money. And that is a really good question. Where's the thickness of this? Oh, it's on there. All right. You'll be able to see it better here. Oh, fuck. Oh, it's already thick. Okay. Whatever. This is as close as we're going to get. Okay. So this right here is a perfect example. So this is why I like, actually this website's pretty neat because you can zoom in way more here than you can on TradingView. A lot of bots are programmed on a lot of different things. However, what happens is a lot of people program their bots to buy on whatever time frame. It could be the 15-minute or whatever, to specifically buy the cross of the 10 EMA to the 21 EMA or the 10 EMA to the 89. Because typically when it crosses that, like, price is getting ready to go up. And so what they will do is the bots will tiny bit. So they're not actually manipulating the coin. That's only a side effect. But they will potentially do this if they see a lot of bots programmed to buy this cross. But they, from past trades, they also know on average when those bots are triggered to sell. So what they'll do is they'll spike price a little bit, maintain it just enough for this to cross. And when this barely crosses, what happens is you also have to program your bot to sell. And since it barely crossed, it never sells. And you get screwed. And this happens on all time frames. Like you think, okay, go a bigger time frame. No, it does. It happens perfectly. And like, you can't trigger your sell. So you just bought it and then it tanks. So it's not really manipulating the coin itself. Because in the end, over the month, the price would be roughly the same on average anyway. But they like this. This is another perfect one. It would be very difficult for you to program your bot for it to sell once this crosses because it didn't go up high enough for, to do whatever you wanted it to do to sell, right? That's how they make their money. And I lost about $3,000 or $4,000 learning that. So you just got about a $4,000 answer right there. I lost a decent amount of money doing that. But it was fun. I learned a lot though. I learned a lot about what the exchanges are doing, and it honestly makes me want to start an exchange. Not that I want to steal people's money like that, but there's a lot of money in exchanges. I mean, even down to that level, it's silly. No, not Ender app. $10 by July via coin. Yeah, absolutely. Now, if it does end up, because I don't think it's gotten too hot too fast like a Bitcoin did. It actually is lower on its chart than it should be. So honestly, if anything, I would say it overshoots it and hits something like $13 or $23 by July. So I would actually up the ante on that. I think Bitcoin will get hot real fast. Yeah, the bots are absolutely creating liquidity. But, you know, and when they're doing that, they are not trying to pump a coin. That's the exchanges only on big leveraged coins, typically Bitcoin and Ethereum, and Cardano now too, because they did it on Cardano very obviously, as I warned everybody. So yeah, they're not affecting the actual coin. Yeah, so the ARV, thank you for that. Yeah, so I would actually say, I would guess somewhere between $8 and $23. And if you want me to pull up why, like, so it makes more sense, I guess I'll give you a better answer. So a lot of assets, once they kind of huddle up here, man, it's staying strong. It's at $1.90. That's kind of impressive. I still think it has to revert down here though. But anyway, when coins kind of like aren't screaming and they spend time here like this, they often in these origin lines, they'll skip one and then use something like that as support, like use the as support if it skips it. So if it skips it, comes up here, hits 14 bucks, comes here, finds support on this horizontal from the all-time high, kind of like DAPPT, Shaw, a lot of coins, IDEO was actually doing till it fell through. And then if it falls through, well, it has its origin line, boom. And then there you go, come up to the next one, go sideways for about 50 days, and then have your last two raw. Something like that. I think it's going to skip this line. And so if you go backwards, did it skip that line last time? Absolutely. See, it skipped it. It only stuttered step, fell back on it, but it actually skipped 3 lines. Shit. It skipped 3 lines last time. So the month that it skipped this last time was April. Okay, so go straight on this. Well, shit, it's April. Hasn't even touched it. So it's probably going to screen past it because it's actually behind schedule. So unlike Bitcoin, which is ahead of schedule and needs to move sideways longer, Bitcoin actually, it needs to go up faster. Yeah. So yeah, that is why I think. And if you want to get a visual of it being too low and it needs to catch up, you can see that on the Bitcoin pairing. Right? It's at the bottom of its freaking graph. There you go. That's it. Thank you, Silent Selections. All right, let me see if I missed anybody else's stuff. All right, Silo. Yeah, we'll do Silo. If I could remember. Oh, that's the one I accidentally deleted and I had to add it back. Damn, that's still strong, isn't it? Damn. See, this is why I like monetary coins, people. Not only do they not need hype, but they stay stronger than the ones that do get hype. And it's just such a safe bet, right? So when I think of Viacoin, you know, I think other coins can have higher ROI than them, but it's less guaranteed. It's less likely. So out of all things that I could have bought, I think Viacoin, and I actually graphed this out. I even put algorithms to it, different algorithms, and no matter how I could do it to try to create a fair, not trying to make Viacoin the highest, but just like out of like 20 assets, I tried to say, okay, am I being too biased? Like, what am I weighing ROI potential too high? Am I weighing safeness too high? And I changed it, and almost every time Viacoin was the top when you try to mix certainty with ROI. Anyway, so it's because it's a monetary coin. And it's a small cap. So Silo is also, I think Silo is a monetary coin. Pretty sure it is. I might be forgetting, but it's an even smaller cap, and it's a monetary coin. So there you go. Yeah, that's super strong. I'm actually kind of surprised it's still up there. I don't know. Do you want anything more specific than that? Like strong. Let's go down the time frames. Yeah, it's landing. It's 4 hour 21, making. You could make so much money playing this range had you started playing it after you saw this. Like you buy this, try to buy that. When it never hit it, you go, okay, I'll buy it here. then you just sell that line again, or like between the lines, which is why I have those two lines. So you average sell from about there, because you didn't catch the bottom, to the middle, 45%, come down, buy this line again. Okay, it scooped a little lower. Fine, that's still fine. I still bought it there. Sell there again. So during this shenanigans with, you know, Bitcoin and Ethereum going up and down, you could have 2.25 extra money. So yeah, this power. So this is just as good as a range as Tones was. And neither of these coins are probably going to break that. So it's proved it. The chance of it going down is really low. Yeah, Silo's looking really good. I mean, honestly, so is Tone. This is an even more profitable range. Look how big it is. And I did hit that last one though. I got about 64 out of it, 66 or something. ERSDL. Travis, do you want it versus Wrap Death? I think it has to be Wrap Death. Oh, long-term Silo? Or I'll do that in here in a second. Oh, I'm on the 4 hour, okay. It's still pretty hot. It's stronger than what I would have guessed it would stay. Man, that's really a lot stronger than what I would have guessed it would have been. Okay, thanks, John. I always do appreciate your comments. It's funny. Gosh, this is tough. It looks like it does not want to hit this 10. That is a very strong posturing. And it's so young that you can't really tell anything off the weekly, but it's posture. So the weekly, I can't see much, no RSI to base off of. The Stokes, even though they're crossing, they're still above this line. It could just go stay up here for like 8 months. So that doesn't tell me much. The 2-day RSI says it wants to come down a bit. It's been rejected from its, so look, it's been rejected from its EMA. So if you're newer to my channel, this is the EMA. So the moving average, I think it's the 12 moving average specifically of the green, right? So when something gets rejected once, you typically have like a 50% chance, roughly house odds, that your RSI, the green part, will come touch the white line or lower, unless it's the weekly. Everything besides the weekly. Oftentimes, the weekly in a bull market on assets just goes barely below that line and then comes back up. And then goes like that. That's as low as the weekly gets in a crypto bull market. But anything under, it's going to hit this line. So you have a 50% chance this will come hit that line. Broke through, but it actually got rejected. The second time, you have like an 80% chance it's going to come down and hit this line. Now that it's been rejected time after time, it is like 95% chance this will, I mean, it might not hit the line because it's the 2-day. It might stop a little higher. It could stop like right there, sort of like right there, sort of a trend line. So it might want to stop like that, where those two connect. But it's probably going to touch that. Now, does price have to go much lower for that to happen? No, because it's relative strength. But that's what I would be looking at. And to see it on the day, it's probably even lower. So honestly, it's possible that it doesn't go down very low, because it looks like it just wants to touch it by going down very slowly and sideways. And then once it satisfies this, it can go back up. So what I would do on this play is, before I would have much certainty, you would want to see what price is doing, because this will hit this line. But does price have to go down very much for that to happen? No, it does not. It does not have to hit its weekly 10. It can just go sideways and down barely. So I would wait to see what price is doing once it hits this line. And the Stokes at the same time I would wait. If they're up, I would wait for them to be down. If they're all the way down, then I think we'd be good. You'll be able to see something different there. And so actually the play is on the daily on this. So if it, at that time, if it's closing candles above its 21, it's not going to go down any lower once it hits that line and Stokes are all the way down. So that's how I would use the combination of my main indicators, my EMA, 21, the RSI, and the Stokes. The combination of those, you can pretty much tell anything. Like, you don't need any other indicators when you combine it like that. And I don't think I need any other time frames. I have, because if the daily's like that, that means the 4 hour is right at that white line or below and has been there for a bit. So go to the 4 hour. Yeah, so it's at the white line and below. It's going to hang out here until so the 4 hour RSI will stay like this over and over and over until the daily hits that white line. All right. I'll get to it, Sergio. So really, this coin, I think it wants to stay strong, but what I would do personally, I don't know if you're looking to sell it or buy it, but if you already held this, I would probably sell half of what I had personally. Not saying that you should. And if kind of like if you saw me make that mistake on the candle when I was dragging my chart, right? And then I got it right the second time. What I did there was I sold the breakout of that. So I would sell half and I would only miss out on buying it back. On how much price action? Only 7% for the chance. So here's why I would do that. The risk reward. So the risk of losing 7% is almost nothing, right? 7%. But the reward of catching it coming down to this very obvious level, the reward is so much greater than that other risk. 41% versus 7. So that's why I would sell half. So that's my analysis on it specifically. It's too uncertain. It looks like it wants to come down. The market's all down. Ethereum will probably go down for 3 more weeks. I would sell half, but I would keep half because it might just go up. And I don't want to lose out on 7% on my 100 bucks. So that's specifically what I would do. I would literally market sell half personally. All right. Let's look at it versus Bitcoin. Oh, I covered this. Okay, so man is a very special situation. Let me get a little water. All right. So this, honestly, I might buy this coin. Here's why. I know nothing about it. So even though I am personally kind of concerned that it's gone down so much, but it started in 2018, so it's got an excuse. It just started off way overvalued, just like everything did. That's not its fault. Hell, if I were the founders of this coin, I would have done the same damn thing because they sold everything, and now they can have investor money to pay employees, keep their lights on for years. So everybody was doing it, it's fine. So I take that back. But it's probably just like Cardano. Yeah, 98.7 something percent, just like Cardano. Exactly the same. So but technically that should be kind of concerning. And hopefully this doesn't happen again at the end of the run. So if you see coins, come out near the end of the bull run, and you hear friends or whatever like excited to buy something that started way overvalued like that, because they will all be overvalued at the end of the bull run, that's when you know it's about over. You need to tell those people not to get it first off, because they're going to get freaking screwed. Imagine people buying Cardano at $1 like 6 weeks after it came out, thinking it's cheap because it's $1 because they don't know what the hell they're doing. Oh, those people got so destroyed. God. Anyway, so here's why this one's so special is that obviously it has that cross that we love. But and it's built up pressure, so it's already retraced. So this is kind of like Bolt. What else is doing this? West. Bolt and West are doing this exact same thing. Litecoin is only here on this. So this is like 4 weeks ahead, more pressure than Litecoin has. Litecoin's only on its second week after doing this. So this is already retraced. It's already retested this. It's ready to go. And it's probably just going to wait on Ethereum or whatever, Bitcoin. But here's the kicker. You already know exactly where to sell. Right there. So it'll probably be a little lower, but it will wick past it. So whenever it comes up, it'll wick it a little past it, and it'll probably align with some horizontal. Yep, so right there. But it might be a little lower, so you might actually want to do it about right there. So at, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 6, 90. So if it takes off in a couple weeks, and this purple line's there, wherever that is, and price, yeah. So what's going to happen is, the reason why it's such an obvious sell point is because there are two completely different groups of people who are going to be seeing the same thing. People who look at horizontals and try to trade this up fairly, it's not a super obvious horizontal, but it's there. You have that large group of people, and then you have a group of people trying to sell around this 89 because almost everything's getting rejected from it. And you have the people who are just, they know an average run after this, it's a good profit taking point around the 200 mark. So you have like 3 different groups of people all selling at the same spot. So that's my analysis on it short term. Long term, and honestly, it might fly past that and use that as support, but it doesn't matter. You'll still be able to buy it back. So I would sell it around there anyway, right? The next sell level, yeah, this is really good coin. I think I'm actually going to pick some up because to sell this is so easy. It's right there. It might hesitate there, though. So places it might hesitate is usually where it actually falls down to. So what I'm going to do first is make all my lines, and then I'm going to measure. So I make my lines first in my process. Now I measure. So the first run, somewhere around here, that's where I'm going to sell. Regardless of if it hits that pings down and rests right there, and that might actually happen. So regardless, whether it flies past, comes here, or whether it comes up to that and comes down to this level, I don't care. I would still sell there. And then the next time, regardless of where it lands, I would, so I'm going to measure first before I make this game plan. So measure, let's say in the middle, because I don't know which one. I wouldn't sell it that horizontal, it's too low. I bet it uses this one as support. I bet it busts through, goes up to this one, another 200 run, and uses that as support. So I would sell on both sides of this line because it'll probably wick through like that. And it'll probably do something like, it could actually stop here. Those are, man, if these align perfectly, it would absolutely stop there. Shit. Let me think about this. I take that back. I think it might land there. I think it might stop somewhere between these two lines. So what I would do here, yeah, it might actually stop. It's probably, nah, it'll probably go up to there. So I would sell between these two lines here. Maybe a slightly like stratified like that. Like put in, so if you had 100 of them, 100 of this coin, I would sell 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, just a little bit like around those lines. And then it'll probably, you know, wherever it comes up from here or whatever, it'll spike up and land somewhere right there. And so you just keep doing that over and over, right? Sometimes a coin like MTV will just keep flying. There's nothing you can do about it. But if this is a hodl coin and you want to keep till December, that's why you 20 bag in case it does scream up. It's cool. I sold 28% of it. Probably won't come back down. So I'm going to go find something that will blow up. And once that triples, I will come back to see what this is doing and put my 20 bag, which is now much larger, back into it when it's cool and it sits. So that's why 20 bagging is so important for coins that you like and you want to hold and you think will have good ROI. You don't 50 bag necessarily, or I don't, especially small alts. Sometimes they just keep going. So that's why I personally 20 bag on small alts that I like. Really, I have spammers in my in my live chat. It's kind of impressive. Did I just hide the wrong person? Okay. Stokes. Yeah, I don't think I'd worry about the Stokes. It's just horizontals and EMAs on that one for a while. Oh, so I'll do end of year on Shaw. Okay, this is how I do end of year. So you can't look at a graph and do end of year. Can't do it. So unless it's had 2 bull runs, okay? Because you have to be able to connect the highs of 2 bull runs. Without that, you can't do it. So on a technical basis, there is no end of year prediction. However, here's how you do it. I'll do it for Silo and Shaw. Watch. So currently at 24.5 million, circulating supply 3 billion. Okay, so you take that information. How do you do this? There you go. So you go to historical snapshots. You go to the end of the bull run. All right, now you start looking at where things were grouping and what their market cap was, right? So you'll see patterns. The super hype coins, they typically got around, not Bitcoin Cash. Oh, Bitcoin Cash kind of in that group, but let's not count those. So Cardano was the biggest one. The super hype coins got around 20 billion. So I think I picked the wrong date. Let's see when it hit 20. There. All right. So what week was this? So the second week of January. And you can see this is after Bitcoin had fallen like 40% in a day or whatever, right? So things scream after. So you can very clearly see it, right? 26 billion. So what happened here was people were selling their Bitcoin, which would not come back up because the big big players knew this. And what they were doing is they were squeezing their last bits of profit by buying Cardano, and they just flew. So anyway, so you try to see groups, and a bunch of groups, 10 to 20 were the really hype coins, or just, Tron was a hype coin, IOTA's hype coin, Cardano's hype coin, NEM was hyped. So that's one group. The next group is 5 to 7. The next group is a bunch around 2. See that? It's kind of huddled. Then you had a bunch that just hit 1 billion, like a ton of them. So they go in packs, right? So you kind of look at where these packs were. So there's a bunch in a pack at 750 million, 750 million, and just a ton of them like went around 500 million for no reason. Like they weren't here just a few weeks before this. They were like at 100 million, just like 5 weeks ago, right? These packs just all went up at the same time. So you got to understand what the packs are, right? And look how many in the pack went up to 250 million to 500 million, just a ton of them. Like, look, that's the biggest pack. So you try to guess what pack Silo will be in. And you got to guess that these packs are probably going to be higher this time by at least 2, right? Because Cardano is already over 2 times that amount market cap. And it's not even the end of the year. So if Silo can get on page 2 of CoinMarketCap at the very bottom, let's say times 2.5, it'll get up to, maybe 300 million. So let's just guess 300 million, because honestly, the packs might be like 4 times higher. Honestly, there's a lot more money this time. So let's say 300 million. Now what you do is you take the circulating supply. So what is that? 3 billion. I didn't do that right. 3 billion. So what is that? 10 cents then? Right? So 10 cents. That would be my end of year prediction for Safe Haven. Okay, now you got to look at how much ROI that would give you. So 10 cents. $12 times your money. So that's if it runs with that pack, and that's if you guess the pack correctly. So if you think that Shaw has in it to get to 1 billion, and you have reasons to think that, right? Then you just you do that. Shaw would get to 33 cents if it happened to hit 1 billion. So maybe that would be like the second pack tier, right? If you think it'll get that big, get on second page of CoinMarketCap, it would hit 33 cents. Yeah, so that's how you do end of year predictions. You do it by market cap and understanding the packs by looking at the historical snapshots, which you saw me do it. And this should stay on YouTube. So if you didn't catch exactly what I did, you can go back. Yeah, so then you guess the market cap, divide by the coin circ, and that's the end of your price. That's it. You cannot do it on a graph. Silo, oh no, wait, did I just do it for Silo? Oh no, I did it for Shaw. Okay, good. So for Silo, I mean, same deal, right? So I don't know if so it's almost the same numbers. So it's almost gonna hit the same price. Like these are almost exactly the same numbers. So, all right. It's a pretty good small cap. Another 2018 coin. You need to make sure this is alive still, though. This could be a dead coin. So when you see this, I mean, you need to do this first. So when you see that much weakness, you need to go to Twitter, and you need to press page down for a while. So watch this. Press page down until you get halfway through 2020. Oh, wow, I did it fast. Okay. So 2020, did they stop posting? So they were still putting technology reports deep in. Okay, it's not dead. Okay, well, I'm kind of surprised. So it's still active. Token issuer. So it's got cross chain, or no? Oh, those are the names of its layers. So it's naming like phases like Cardano does. I don't know. I don't know much about this one, but it's still active. Okay, so I guess you're kind of safe there. But when you see this much separation between the EMAs, that means it went down really fast and really hard. It's probably going to still get rejected from its 55 though. So you got to think about that, because without this dump, it would have come up here, doubled. So honestly, that's not bad. You actually have more time to make money from this quickly. You know that it's probably going to get rejected from there, and it'll probably wick through it. See that wick there? So you could probably buy it now, like not financial advice, for education and entertainment only. And then try to figure out, is there a horizontal that aligns with this? So you can actually make a lot of money from this if it does get rejected. You can make more money if it does get rejected. Right there. Oh, now I got Stained playing, so that works. I'm a big Aaron Lewis fan. So yeah, you sell there, and then you buy it back there, and then it's probably going to hang out a while. I would sell it again. So sell it again. So you've now quadrupled your money, and then the next candle won't come all the way down, but it'll probably, now if Bitcoin's racing, then I wouldn't actually sell it there again. But if Bitcoin is not racing, like the next candle will come down a little bit. So I would probably buy it halfway down the previous candles, and then I would hold it until it hit this line here. So now you can see how much more money you make when you sell stuff, right? Like you make so much more money because shit, you just quadrupled your money. And then you bought it back there, and then you 3x your money. And honestly, I would sell it a tiny bit higher. I would, but because it'll probably come down. And then you got to guess, okay, well, if it goes up that high, where's the horizontal that it'll come down to? Well, the most obvious one's right here. So it is possible that you end up selling too early on the second try, and it does wick up there and it comes back down, but it doesn't matter. You just quadruple your money and you can buy it back here, and then you need to sell here again, and it'll probably come down to there, right? So even if it does this, it doesn't matter. You just quadrupled. You're good. And then you can buy it back at the same level, right? After it will come back down if it happens, most likely. And honestly, if it goes up that high, it could stop there actually. So if it did scream up there, but still, you're making more money doing this anyway. And then you would sell at that level, very obvious level, or it might wick past it, but it'll probably come down to that. Yeah, and that's how I would step through. Now, here's why I would do that. Because after you get to this point, and you can use this as a support, or maybe use something higher like that as support, look, there's freaking nothing stopping it. Look. So this is why I would take as much profits as I could and buy it back, because once it gets past this it is game the hell on. Like, it's just going to fly. It's really going to go. And this is kind of like what ADB has been doing. It's going to fly. If it is a project that continues, doing its thing. It could be a failed performer, which sometimes happens, but even in that, from the last bull run, I saw that the weakest ones 20x'd. So you'll probably still get 20x from it if it's anything close to like the last one. All right, MHC. All right, my wife's snapping her fingers at me, so let's do it versus Bitcoin. So MHC is like the most volatile coin I've seen in a while, but that's good. You make more money off of it. So all it was doing, it was testing its 55, in case no one knew that. That's all it's doing, right? Just like is the most popular play in all of crypto. You have the cross coming, you get rejected from your 55. Then you test it. And so this is exactly what I said on the last coin, right? The reason I would sell it again is because when you retest it, you're still going to get rejected. You'll come halfway down the candle, and this one actually came to here, right? That's what I'm saying. You will get rejected twice. And then you buy it back, and then you sell it at another halfway smart level, which should be about here. So had Bitcoin not fallen, MHC would have come between these lines or all the way up to here, selling at the 89 weekly. But this has been affected by the Bitcoin debacle, you know, price crash. So it's really cool that it's actually stopping on the 55. It's not like it goes sideways and builds a higher support versus Bitcoin. When Bitcoin starts flying, it's gonna scream past this. And the cool thing about that is the next resistance is right the frick up here. It could stop there, but it'll probably use this as support, like something like between there and there. So because it's not gonna, it doesn't have anything here to use as support, so it's not gonna stop there. It might go halfway between, but I mean, it can really fly. So like, this could be a big run next. It could go like that, and then maybe wick down to that point, but it would probably come right back up. So I would sell like around this line and maybe some sells up here. So I would actually sell most of it like this, like a bottom distribution. And that's your play on that. Yeah, it has nowhere else to stop. So this is going to be a big one. MHC is probably going to take off. Yeah, that's 4 times your money. Yeah, so you can 4x this. Now, the way this might not work out is if there's no, yeah, so it'll be blue. Yeah. That first one, if it can really hold support here, it'll fly past this. And it'll be a blue sky breakout. Because Bitcoin's, maybe not. Why is that so high? So yeah, it won't even be up to its all-time high when it does all that. So yeah, I would play the Bitcoin variant for sure. Because it still would not have gotten here by the time you already quadrupled your money. Because that's 7 extra money. So yeah, I think that's actually a pretty good one to play. I would absolutely play the Bitcoin pairing on that guy to sell. Sometimes when I'm buying back a dip, I almost always use the US dollar pairing. But this one, it's so obvious. It's resting on its 55. You might just buy and sell on that. And then if you want to hold Tether at that, just sell your Bitcoin for Tether. Viacoin, try to snag it around 90 cents. It might not come down, but that's where I would still try it. And then if it doesn't get that point, Rose, then you reassess. But I really think it will. And I've done a few analysis on why I think that. But I mean, just look. So identify that we're playing with trend line A and trend line B, right? Now we drag this way. They're the same lines. Watch. Oh, look at all these red dots. That's how many times they got rejected from line A. Look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it broke out on the 6th. So on every time, even though it came up to here when it was down here, so I'm not really counting these, but even these times got rejected. Where did it come? Exactly to here. On this one, where did it come? Almost exactly to there. A little lower, like I mean a little higher than that. Okay, well, let's say it doesn't come all the way down, a little higher. Well, where does that put it? Okay, let's zoom in. You think it'll be around 90 cents? Where's that? A little higher than this line is 84 cents. That's why. It's going to happen again. But again, this might be a 6-week fall of Ethereum, so it might take 6 weeks. Is this called Decentraland? This looks like VeChain. Damn. This is actually a really good graph. This is an impressive accumulation period. I wouldn't be buying it right now. So what's going through my head right now is this. I can't really tell if it wants to do another push and stay above its 10 and then correct. And I can't tell on the weekly because the RSI just now came below it. And the last time it went below it, it just flew right through. And it could easily happen again. So if you wanted to buy some, it would be a gamble, and you don't have house odds. This would be potentially another scenario where I would maybe market sell half of what I had. And then if it broke out of this, if it closes a candle, I would either say one of two things when I would buy it back. If I were wrong in my assessment with that 50%, I would either buy it back if it flies past that wick, or if any weekly closes above that weekly. So it's either if a week flies past, or if a week just barely closes above, like that, kind of like when I was talking about Bitcoin earlier, the monthly closed above, right? If a week closes there, or if a week flies past, I would buy it as it flies past, or I'd buy it right when it closed there. If my 50%, I couldn't buy it back lower, right? So let's say that worst case scenario. What's the risk of that? Well, if you market sold here and you bought it back there, 21%, okay? What's the reward to that risk? Well, it's pretty freaking huge. Look at this. Look how obvious this is. That's one possible. Two possible lines. This is all the support it has right here. So the chance of it hitting one of these lines is probably like 60%, maybe 70%. Particularly because Bitcoin and Ethereum are not confident. It might be an 80% chance it hits 46 cents. So I know that's kind of weird for me to say, but what happened with Veracity? What happened with Phantom? What happened with BPRO? You know, so for new people, what I said about those, it was unbelievable to them. But the whole idea is that it has no support anywhere. Like it could potentially build support by going sideways. Yes, it could correct this way. And if it did, you would make a shit ton of money from playing the range, kind of like Tone. So it could do this. And honestly, this is this is honestly more profitable. So not only does your 80% of your bag stay high, but the 20% you're selling, you can sell over and over and over again. So it could correct in two different ways. But I would probably still mark sell half. It, personally, not telling you that you should do that. Did I check mana? A lot of people have been asking about that. I thought I did. Was that Decentraland? Yeah, I already did that. Try it. Okay, try us. It's probably not going to go above that line. Yeah, so this is very similar. So remember what I just did on that one? It had no support anywhere, and I chose a wick and a candle body, right? But how to determine which one will it come down to? I do two things. I use the measuring tool twice. I see where did it come out of its U-shaped bottom? Right here. Measure up. Is that an aggressive run? Not really. That other one we just saw was 2,000%. So it's a small run. It doesn't need to correct much. So in my golden thumb rule of corrections, altcoins, particularly not Bitcoin, smaller alts under 200 million, 40 to 60% almost every time. So every correction of any altcoin under 200 million, 90% will fall in that range every time. Like 90%. That's just the way it is. So you measure down. It was not an aggressive run. It probably doesn't need to correct 60%. So think to yourself, okay, maybe 40 or 50%. So what I do next is, now that I know it was not an aggressive run up, I say to myself, okay, I will start at the top, drag down and stop at 40. And if there's no horizontal there, that kind of sucks. It's probably going to go lower than 40, and I'll drag it down to 50. So watch. 40. There's nothing there. Drag it down to 50. Is there something there? Fuck yeah, it is. Look at that. There you go. So it probably won't go lower than that. And I had this horizontal here before this happened because of that exact thing. So, and the reason this works, again, it doesn't work because it should work. It works because a lot of people are seeing the same thing and they all become buyers at that point. It's the market psychology, right? So that's why this works. This is a great time to buy this. I don't know what this is. Whoa, this is chaotic. Hold on, wait. Why did this happen? Oh, that's the run. So this is an old coin. Ugh. You need to make sure this coin's still alive. What is it called? What did I put in? Shit, what was it called? Holy shit, it's a 1 million market cap? What is this trade on? Oh, man. So that makes more sense. So I wouldn't be too concerned. I would still do what I did with the other one. I would go to Twitter, make sure they were posting throughout all of 2020. Make sure there are no gaps. Because if there are gaps, that means there's a 99% chance that they only came back to try to sell their bags to you and they haven't been doing jack shit. So they were active the whole time. Okay, so they're still active. On a charting basis, it's a hell of a time to buy it. Like literally market buy. Now, you have to be really careful because this is a small cap coin. If you buy $100 of it, you could potentially make this wick all the way to that blue line. So there are pros and cons to these. Typically, small cap coins are better for your investors where you're playing with 20,000 total in your whole crypto and less because it kills two birds with one stone. The first stone is that you're probably not going to put your whole bags into this. So therefore, you're probably going to use $1,000 or less. Therefore, you can buy $100, wait 3 minutes, buy another $100, wait 3 minutes, do that till 1,000. The second, and you don't move the market. Second thing, and that money is a large percentage for you, and that's good. People playing with like $800,000 to $2 million, they can't touch this. They can't do anything. So that's the first stone. The second stone is that your ROI is more aggressive. Therefore, you can take a smaller account and make it bigger, more so than somebody playing with $1 million and they have to buy larger caps, $1 million, $100 million and over. Your ROI is going to be much more impressive than theirs at the end of the day, percentage-wise, right? And it's a cool way to be able to take on a lot of risk with a small cap coin, but you're not using leverage. And it's clearly bottomed. The likelihood of it exploring a lower low is extremely low in a bull market. So with all those statistical things, you know, if you could potentially make a statistical reasoning, like, it's an extremely statistical likelihood right now. Literally, it's a great time to buy it. with $100 chunks at a time, not much more, because then you're going to screw yourself. You will become a wick. And honestly, I would buy it there and then sell it right back at that. I would sell it again. So what? And then I would buy halfway down the candle and then sell here. That would be what I did. I'm glad you can't wait, Lit Doug. You might do something like join the Cryptillions for now and then one up it later. UBXT, a lot of people have asked about that. I've already looked at this coin. Yeah, a lot of people in Patreon, so you must be a patron. So it's similar to that, I think Mana. I think it was the coin, but it only has support here. And here. And here. So now you have to measure. Up from where it got hot. 800% run. What's the rule of thumb? 40 to 60%. Was this a hotter run? Yeah. It's probably going to, I would say, statistically likely, it's going to be more than 50% correction. So you start dragging this down until you hit a horizontal and it meets up with one of those rules of thumb. So the likelihood of it coming back down to 36 cents is extremely high. Could it be one of those like crazy coins that just corrects by moving sideways? Yeah. And you can make a lot of money because if it does correct that way, it will go up and down at least 3 or 4 times. Because what it'll do is it'll be allowing not just this, but this line to catch up like that. So you could probably sell that top 3 times minimum, maybe 4 times, and then go. So it's either going to do that, which is extremely profitable, or it will come all the way down here and you snag it, and then it'll go right back up, which is also very profitable. You 2.5x your money. And then you would sell it here again and then buy it here. 2.5x and then 1.7x. Four and a 4.2x your money. Okay, Jason Gamer Distort. Oh yeah, I just did Excel, didn't I? Yeah, I thought I just said that. Did I check it on Bitcoin though? I don't know if I looked at it versus Bitcoin. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, I discovered that. Hopefully I got that. I mean, I'm pretty sure I just explained it. Idea. Well, it looks like it found its bottom, so. Did it really wick down that far? Oh, damn. I wish I had a little more for capital, but I've already bought so much of this that it's staking, and I'm good on it. Yeah, I think my theory on why this came down so low without having gone on a run, I think it's, in retrospect, I would still stick with it. It's because it's so young. And here's the thing. Remember what I said earlier? It doesn't work because it's supposed to work, right? These horizontals and percentages. It works because that's what people are seeing. And that is when this group and that group become buyers. And or when this group becomes this group. That's why price stops going down. So when there are no MAs or EMAs on the weekly, what are you left with? Horizontals. Where's the first freaking horizontal? Right there. Where's the second horizontal? Where it would probably wick to? Right there. So that's the only bad thing about small caps that are young. I guess that can happen because there's no one spot where sellers stop becoming sellers, turn into this, and or immediately turn around and become buyers. And at the same time, a lot of sideliners become buyers. It has to happen at a horizontal. And sometimes those horizontals are way farther down than what they should be if there were actually MAs. So, and I did not anticipate that happening. I don't think I've ever bought a new coin ever. So I have never firsthand experienced this. But I have warned a lot of people who are into those Uniswap coins and all that bullshit. You are gambling with your money. And I never thought that that would be one of the ways, but newer coins, until they have a little bit of price history, you are simply guessing because there is no technical analysis. So my technical analysis is that it's 4 million cap. It has 25% staking. And even if it's a dud coin, I'm going to 20x my original investment, and all that 25% interest throughout the year will also 20x, almost minimum. So the interest alone will be 4 times my original investment, plus my original investment is 20x. I will come out with 24x, even if this coin ends up sucking. That's my technical analysis on it. Avocado. Don't tell me that's a real coin. I just told you about, that's what I was just talking about, Uniswap coins. Okay, you gotta be joking. Did you write that because I just said this? That was good. Whoever just said that was pretty smart. Is the price really that high? Is this real? What am I looking at? I have never spoken with any coin creator ever. I kind of like that chart. I don't like that it's not very strong, but it just created a higher low. So here's my rule. I don't buy anything if it's under the week. Oh, no, that's the 4 hour. Yeah, no way. No way. Absolutely not. I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole. Not yet. So the time I would even consider buying this is when it closes 4 candles above the 10 on the daily. I wouldn't even think about it until then. Maybe 3 candles. If they were... No, I would wait till the 4th closes. And I would want to make sure that 4th closes above it. Because this isn't price discovery down. So the market is getting hot. A lot of coins are overvalued when they come out. And remember those 2018 coins straight down? Because the market sentiment is now bearish, this could go way lower. I'm telling you, like it could go way lower. So yeah. So catching a knife is not a good idea. Yeah, it could easily hit like 77 cents. Will it? Probably not, but it could. It has nothing stopping it. It has no support. Maybe that wick. Yeah, this is so don't try to think it's low now. No, it can go lower. Way lower. Stay away from that. If you've already bought it, you might just huddle through it, honestly. But if you're looking to buy it, the daily 10, 4 candles. Well, the good thing about MAP is that it's young enough where the weekly 89 is not here stopping it. So it's probably going to do this on the, so I think, like I said, I almost always sell on the Bitcoin pairing. Unless it's blue sky breakout on both, then I just sell on the US dollar pairing, my rule of selling tops or close to the top as you can. That's really the best you can do. So see how that wick perfectly aligns to that wick? This is a key area of interest. So what it's probably going to do, now I made those lines, now I measure, right? So measure. Yeah, so what's going to happen, most likely, is on the Bitcoin pairing, once Bitcoin, it could actually have one pit stop before that. No, it probably won't, actually. It's probably going to do this. It'll probably, you know, whenever it starts spreading green candle, so maybe a few weeks hesitation, green candle, small red candle, green candle wick, closes here, small red candle, closes high, next week up, maybe wicks past and closes here, maybe a small red candle, and it's going to go like that. And then it'll probably use this as support, this line, and it'll probably rest right there. So it could get rejected from here because that is triple your money from current price, and it could land there, right here instead. So it could do this, could do that. But if it did, it would wick past that. So maybe do like a bottom heavy distribution, something like that. So if it doesn't go all the way up here, at least you've sold more than half. But if it does go up here and wicks past, you don't feel bad because you did sell some near the top, and then it'll probably come back down here anyway. And then you can buy back lower. And then you'd probably want to sell it there again, buy it back lower, and then wait for it to blast off. Or maybe actually, since this horizontals here, it might kind of actually come up to here first. So it probably won't range out there. It'll probably just do a couple weeks and then go here. And it'll probably do what DAPPT's done. It'll probably use this here. It'll probably break above it and come back down, rest, and then fly. Something like that. So I think the play on MAP is on the Bitcoin pairing. So DAPPT looks very similar, but it's already doing what I thought that coin was going to do on the Bitcoin or on the dollar pairing. Probably because it's a younger coin or something. Yeah, it's a pretty young coin. I don't know. If I wanted to pick up more DAPPT, I would probably do it at 0.0048 or 9. Because these weekly Stokes look like they want to come down. Maybe not. The daily Stokes, so yeah, it probably will because it'll probably do this. So you see how there's a lot of, look. So this is actually what to look out for. Kind of like I said about Ethereum on my channel. You're going to know if it's going to come, well, it kind of looks like it wants to, but if it hasn't touched here, you'll know it if this happens. Right there, and it gets rejected. Once it's, if it starts curling down at that line, you know it's absolutely going to hit one of these two lines. But right now, I bet it gets some momentum up. But maybe not. Maybe it'll just stay down here, and it's going to hit this line. Yeah, it'll hit that line. So what did I say? 0.0048. Yeah, you might actually want to try to buy between these two lines, like that. So maybe put some orders at right at 4 cents and some at, or not 4 cents, 0.004 and some at 0.004 at that candle actually. 0.0048 to 0.004. VIA, I mean, yeah, we're kind of targeting 90 cents buyback area for VIA. Something like that. Maybe 80. Maybe, actually, I would say as low as 84. I can't remember. Oh, Bolt. I think the play on Bolt is the Bitcoin pairing. It's in this. It's in great wait. Yeah. It's in great posturing. This is fantastic. So on the Bitcoin pairing, you could probably sell a pair one more time. So you could probably make a good amount of money from Bolt in the Bitcoin range. So if you got it, you're going to try to pick it up at this line again, or at that candle body at 1942 with 6 zeros in front. Sell it maybe at that wick. So sell it here. Wait for it to come halfway down this candle. Buy it back, and then sell it at a price point higher. But that price point higher is probably going to be pretty high, because when it does that, it's going to be breaking out. And it actually might break out before here. But it's still probably going to get rejected there. But it is possible that if it is breaking out of the US dollar pairing, one thing to watch out for, it might not stop here. You might not have a chance to buy it back here. So you need to make sure that when it comes up here, before you actually sell it, to try to catch a rebound, make sure it's not breaking out of its US dollar pairing all-time high. Because if it is, that will pull that up and it won't stop. Yeah, but it's kind of got like a double high. So it probably will get rejected. Yeah, it'll probably coincide with getting a small rejection right there and or right there. Yeah. Yep, it'll probably get rejected, maybe come down to this wick, because it's probably going to get rejected on the Bitcoin pairing, and it'll probably align with this happening. But it probably won't go sideways for very long. And then it'll really fly. What's across that? So 450%. So probably needs to come down 50%. So it already did. Yeah, that's probably done. That's it. You can probably market by this. Never be down more than what? 8%? Yeah, 8%. If you want to try to snag at that line, you probably can. And it might actually wick down to here. But it'd be only for a minute. It might wick down there. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it might, because so if Bitcoin and Ethereum were not going down, I would not say this at all. And honestly, it would have stopped here. It probably would have stopped right there. But because the market sentiment's bearish and there are a lot of people panic selling, if you want to pick this up more, 2 cents is a damn good place to try to snag it. Because if you snagged it there, you would immediately be up like 50% on your money, like within a couple days, like maybe a week, but you'd be so far in the green quickly. And that's the benefit of trying to wait and be patient, because you will be up so fast, and like there's such a small chance of ever being down. But if it never goes down there, you just kind of buy it on its way up. You know, you're still buying it pretty low. You just got to get out of the mindset of always trying to buy the bottom. And when you actually do buy the bottom, it requires patience. Yeah, if it does come down to 90 cents, create, yeah, you can 100x yourself from there. KFC coin. This is 2018 for you. It's so bad. Well, you need to make sure this project's still doing something, first off. Because the original founders ran out of money. They're out. They have no more money. So it might be done, first off. So I guarantee you they're not making a profit because their chart would not look like this. So that's first step. Don't freaking click buy until you figure that out. So you start making your lines. So I like this line here. Let's see if it matches up with a percentage basis, like a 300% run. Yeah. So if Bitcoin truly does get hot, it might stutter step a few times, but it'll probably make it up to here and then go like this for like a 40% correction. 20, yeah, something like that. Because this will be crossing here. Something like that. And if it waits a little longer and this is lower at that time, then what you might want to look out for is people eyeballing these wicks. So that wick, and that wick. If this is a little lower by the time it gets there, it might only go to there. So that is 50161. So remember, what you're trying to do is you're trying to guess, where are multiple groups of people going to be seeing the same thing? And you essentially, kind of like the trend is the trend, or the trend is your friend. That's what you're doing here. You want to trade with the trend. So if a lot of people are selling, well, you better too. So this would be the point where a lot of buyers either stop buying and become sideliners, and or the people who had bought it down here who are currently sideliners, they will become sellers. So because of that, the pressure of the up arrow will get tiny and the pressure of the down arrow will get bigger. So that's why this kind of stuff, that's why this works. It's sort of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Well, my first thought is it's only on Uniswap. So you're probably gambling, first off. It probably already came down to where it's going to go. I mean, everybody's looking at this horizontal. It already hit it. The other horizontal's here. Other horizontal's here. This horizontal is going to be pretty strong. I don't think this weekly candle will close, or any weekly candle will close below that, because it's the strongest one out of any of them. It's got a weekly close, open, and wick. So, and it's got this wick. Yeah, this line will probably hold this next time. So just in the event it doesn't, I would maybe do, if I'm trying to pick this up, a middle heavy distribution between these two lines. And if only some of them buy, then just, if a candle closes kind of strong above this line, wait to see what the next week does. And if it just starts going up only, then market buy. But you might just get lucky and it wicks down here and then the next one closes there too. Something like that. It could happen. Yeah, that's how I play this. This is kind of looking like idea. It's a young coin, but it's only on Uniswap, so it could be a scam. All right, B Pro. All right. Okay, we'll do OLT and B Pro, and I gotta go. It's close to being done. It's probably going to go like this. Oh, you can hear my music? Can you all hear my music? Or can you hear it through my headphones? It's picking this up? Wow. Yeah, I'm really surprised 𝘾𝐤𝙣𝙣𝙚 didn't see more success. I was very surprised. I almost thought they would kind of get to like 2/3 of the fame Linkin Park did, but it didn't happen. So yeah, this is what I would probably be playing the weekly Stokes. Let's see what the daily is doing. Yeah, yeah, this is ready to go. Honestly, I don't think it'll go down there on the week. That's not going to happen. It might though. Yeah, if the Stokes get here and when it starts curling around, it's liftoff time. So that is you just make a trend line with that roughly that mountain and where all this hesitation, and then you'll know. And really, this you don't use this as a price point necessarily, because the price doesn't have to move much for like Stokes to move around, right? What you want to do is you'll know when it's going to take off. Oops. So it could be, yeah, it could be the 10th of May, something like that. So that candle will probably close strong up here, something like that. The next week might be red. Next week might just blast off, something like that. Or it could just break right through because it's cutting down so much and it's already built up a lot of pressure. Yeah, so you can use the Stokes as the timing mechanism, not as a price guess, because really it's probably done correcting. All right, I'll do B Pro, and I think I gotta go. I don't know why B Pro does this to me. It looks like a smiley face with its tongue sticking out. I don't know if I want to do that. And whatever. Yeah, it's gonna stay above this. So this is the Bitcoin parity on the week. It's not going to be able to break that line, and if it did, it'd only do it for a couple hours just to touch that. And it could actually hit this, and price is going up, right? Because if Bitcoin drops and this stays flat, oh no, that would actually put in a green candle. Okay, if Bitcoin has a bounce up to 52K or something, and BPRO price stays steady, it could do that without moving on the Bitcoin pairing. So it's one thing to watch out for. A Bitcoin bounce would actually be healthy for BPRO. The Stokes want to cross soon, so it's about done, folks. So you can use this as the timing. So really, the weekly Stokes, when these they'll probably stop right there. So it's close to being done. So let's see what momentum was with price when it crossed both these, right? So 1st of January and around the 3rd of February. So look, so I think that 2-day is getting it right. So the 2-day was crossing above its lower line on the Stokes right here, and that means the momentum is now up. Okay. And look what it did on the 3rd of February. Look, it got it right. So I think the 2-day is the best play. 2-day is really a freaking cool time frame. So when the 2-day gets here, you can safely, well, it's faked out. No, because that was weakness. So yeah, it hasn't been down all the way down here and then done that. Yeah, once the 2-day Stokes even probably get here and they're looking confident, you're probably pretty safe. Once you get there, you're really safe. Once you get there, you're super safe. Or actually right there, past that. So, now, will price already be up at 2 cents when this happens? Probably. Will you miss out on some price action? Probably. But you'll know, like, with a high level of certainty that you're good to go. Yeah, the weeklies are almost there, so this is about done. Honestly, I think next week will be green, and I would bet you might have something like one green week. That didn't work. You know, probably retrace to this line at 2.4 cents after it breaks it. And I might do it rather quickly, actually. And then it's probably going to race up to here, and it's going to hit that trend line. So it could go up to 5 cents after that. Did I skip a week? No. That could be a big week right there. I'll leave that there. Or if you want to like take a snapshot of that or something like that. Jose, did I do GLQ for you? I thought I did, right? I need to go to sleep. Yeah, that was the Uniswap one. I did. All right, good. Yeah, so that's SpeedPro. And so I'll leave you with this thought. Oh no, what's that trend line? You know what? Maybe I will redo this. This is my guess of what the trend line will be. You know what? I think it'll get more aggressive than this. I take that back. It'll be more aggressive than that. That was wrong. I need to redo this. Hold on. So here's the thing. It's going to hesitate a couple times. On a few of these levels. That one will be bigger though. So the last thought I wanted to leave you with was I think it's going to get rejected from that line, or it could get rejected from that line and then come back down and stay strong on this and try it again and then fail and then stick the landing on this horizontal. So I think there's going to be an interplay between these horizontals, the diagonals, like giving them one last chance before they'll never be touched again. And it'll be in discovery phase, like, hey, can I play these lines really? And then it's like, nope, actually you can't. Wait, can I? And then you get rejected from that. 10 cents in May. So this is 10 cents in May. And I think something like that's going to happen. Yep. That's kind of what I'm thinking for B Pro. So it could race up to 7 cents kind of fast. Early May. It could be that fast. I might have to spread out my lines a little bit. It might not happen quite that fast. Could be the third week of May. I think this is going to happen pretty fast. But it's going to depend on Ethereum. The way it would actually range horizontals, like under 3.3 cents, which was one of those horizontals. So it might not be that aggressive if. So it could play under that line at 2.4 or play strictly under this line at 3.3 for like the whole month of June. Whole month of May. It might just go bum, 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 bum for another month and a half if Ethereum moves sideways, because Bitcoin's going to move sideways until it has. And this market is different because Bitcoin's never moved sideways like this in a bull run ever. So altcoins, because people don't know how to react to that because it's never happened before, we might see a lot more sideways action in altcoins too, as in 100 days. But I just don't see it happening, but it could. So your money could be tied up for a long time. However, you can play ranges and make shit tons of money, right? As long as you're not scared to sell. And so you can make a shit ton of money in a range, but also when it does finally scream up, say 90 days. Okay, so imagine it does finally scream up. It's going to go higher. It can scream to 37 cents very quickly, like, even higher than that. So if it does go sideways that long, it could get to 40 cents early in June. And really, a lot of sideways movement would be pretty good for BPRO. As long as you understand how to sell ranges, right? So that's why I keep saying this. You need to be able to, if you want more OMI, you want more BPRO, you want more Phantom, you sell Phantom. You really, honestly, should make more money in ranges than you do at anything else. And if you're not, you're doing something wrong. Or if you caught Veracity or MTV, okay. If you get into a 25x coin that does it in freaking, you know, like 6 weeks, like I did with MTV and some of you did, it's hard to beat that. With those few exceptions, if you're not making a lot of money, if not more money in ranges than anything else, you're doing something a little wrong. Okay, so you can't be scared to sell. Always be selling, at least at small portions of your backs, right? Movement a watt on the 27th. What do you mean, Miguel? Movement a what? The whole market? Yeah, down. Yeah, it looks like Bitcoin wants to break this pretty badly. But can you see how it's respecting this origin line? How it respected the origin line, how it respected the origin line, respected the origin line. But once it breaks it, it's going to come down pretty low. It honestly would probably hit this horizontal. Or that one. It'll probably go between 40 and 43. I think it's going to ignore the weekly 21 or the wick down, but it will use the 21 as a basis of a candle closing on the weekly. So really, these EMAs, they don't get the wicks right. They get the close right. So next week is probably going to be a pretty deep red week unless Bitcoin can do it this week. So if Bitcoin can really scream down and close somewhere above that, the next week would be huge. It would probably go up to here. It'd probably go right back to 56,000. Like that. This would be awesome. Especially if you have Tether available. Because a lot of stuff will go one down more. I kind of have a feeling, though. I think Bitcoin, honestly, might wait for F to come down. But maybe it won't. Bitcoin might do something stupid, like trickery. It could end up bouncing between this and 55, and then close the candle, bounce again, and then really break down. So it could be like the 10th of May, the week of Sunday, Monday, 10th, 11th of May. Yeah, that could happen. And then it would close about here, above this weekly 21. But it looks like it wants to go earlier, so I don't think that'll happen, but it could. So no, 27th, I don't see anything significant, but potentially down. Yeah, this candle needs to be red. So it hasn't turned red yet. It only has a day. So if this closes like this green, you'll have one big red candle. And it'll probably close right here. But red. And then the next one come up to here probably. Next one to there. And the next one like that. So this could be June 10th. Could be longer. God, this could take a while, folks. Shit. This might be a long wait, everybody. I really hope it's not, though. But as long as you know how to play ranges, you can make a shit ton of money, I'm telling you. Yeah, as long as these Stokes on the weekly on Ethereum could get down, we're good. But it just might take a while. Oh, this is the 2 weekly, bi-weekly. Yeah, as long as Stokes can get to 56 quickly, it won't take that long. So I use Stokes a lot for timing. Like I said in my video, I don't care where price is. I just know that's the time. So wherever it is, that's when you buy it. It's a timing. So you really need to be eyeing Ethereum's weekly Stokes. 56 is like a magic number. Or maybe 57, something like that. Somewhere around there where this one hesitates. So right at that, 56. Yeah, so I actually am nailing it on the head, 56. Right where this hesitated. And it could be slightly lower, but you'll still know it's time to buy there. Yeah, that's the magic number right now. Or, yeah, 56. All right. So, no, I don't see anything significant because it won't be there by the 27th. Could it? It could be there by the 27th because this is an aggressive move up. Nah, that's too aggressive. No, it can't get there before May 10th. God, this could take a while. Shit. Yeah, because, guys, it doesn't have to go straight down. It can do this shit. Like, obviously not till November, but you get the point. This could be late July. Man, I really hope this doesn't happen. But the longer it does it, the more glorious that pop will be. It'll be so strong. And you have so much time to, like, freaking buy ranges and keep selling and buying and quadrupling your money. Like, because by this point, nothing will be flash crashing. So the ranges will be confident. Those horizontals will be confident, right? All right, so hey, I gotta go to bed now. Yeah. How can you play ranges? You draw a straight line. I mean, but literally, that's what you do. All right. So go to tone. So ticker tone BTC, and just look at this. Literally. And all you do is look at where that first wick is, measure down about 15%. Something like that, 8 to 15. Oh, that's only 5, but I would have sold at 8. So I would have made it there. And then you make a horizontal somewhere obvious where a lot of stuff aligns. So I would have tried, if I could have sold somewhere up there, I would have tried buying back right there. Somewhere in there with these wicks. Yeah, so that would have been an okay point. That would have actually a pretty damn good point. So you just start trying to see where candle wicks and candle bodies align and make sure it makes sense on a percentage basis. Like it's not like a 90% correction. It's like somewhere around 40, something like that. Or you measure up, make sure it's not more like than 90 or 100. It's usually somewhere between like 30 and 90. So it all makes sense. And so you can't see those candles when you're doing it. So those aren't there, right? So you measure down, you look for an obvious horizontal, and since you can't see those other candles, you just buy this line. Did it go? Yeah, it did. See that wick? It went down. Now, since you've already bought, you immediately put in your limit sells for that line there, about 8. Sometimes to be safe, do 10%. But if it's not a huge run like this one, sometimes you just do 5%. So it really depends. So the bigger the run up, the farther down you got to go. Sometimes you got to go like 20% down from the highest wick. Anyway, you set your lines based on those observations, and you just keep buying and selling until it doesn't work. So sometimes when you buy it, it'll wick all the way down, and you're like, oh shit, but who cares? Just wait, it'll come right back up. And sometimes you'll sell it, and it'll bust out. But who the hell cares? I just like quadrupled my money doing this. Just go find something else. Or if it's hitting it a third time, only sell like half of it. right? In case it does go up, well, half of your money's going up and you only have to go hunt another coin and dump the other half in that. And if you really want your tone, well, shit, just go find something in the meantime. And once you double your money, you know, with that other coin, coin B, by that time, tone will be correcting, and then you buy it back there. And hopefully that's this distance is less than double. So you can actually still buy more tone. See what I mean? That's why it's not a bad thing to sell too early. It's actually over time that's way more profitable. Because if you don't, all the times that you sold too late will stack up and it just dwarfs it. Like not even like close, it dwarfs it. So yeah, well, yeah, so but Bitcoin price will get less volatile here. So it doesn't have to be making new highs, but once it's stopping doing $5,000 moves, ranges across the board, they'll be confident. And these horizontals, like shit like this right there, so stuff like this won't be happening at all. It won't happen once Bitcoin's stable. All right. Peace out, folks. Thanks for the super chats that I don't know how. Oh, I guess YouTube did monetize me, so thank you for that. But yeah, I'll try to do random. I don't want to announce all of them. I'll just, you know, instead of popping in on Discord on one channel so not everybody can like talk to me, I probably will just do this. And also it'll help the community grow by potentially, you know, just grab, you know, give more people, and then yeah, and help you all have more ideas. So this should be accessible on YouTube when I'm done, if you want to review anything here. And thanks for tuning in. Get some sleep, everybody. Don't stare at the charts too much, even though I know you will. You just got timified.